Hey everyone, welcome back to another preview and predictions video. The team that we're going to be taking an in-depth look at today is our 2024-25 Carolina Panthers football team. We're going to do a complete preview of this entire roster, and we're also going to look at their schedule, see which games we predict them to win, which games we predict them to lose, and what we think their final record is going to be for the 2024 season. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below, and I'll make sure to respond. So our Carolina Panthers, this is a team that as of right now, Vegas has them coming in at 4.5 wins. So that's kind of the floor point to what we'll be basing everything off of for this video. And that's actually a massive improvement on their performance last season. 4.5 wins, that's obviously pretty low. But this is a team that only went 2-15 last year. So Vegas has them over doubling their win total in the 2023 season. This team should actually be a lot better. It was the worst team in the league by a long shot last year. So really the only place for them to go from here is obviously up. The team, 2-15 last year. Vegas has them doubling that, 4.5 wins. That's not good, but it is a massive step off of where they left off last season. Think of it as baby steps. 2 wins, 4 to 5 wins, maybe 7 or 8 wins, slowly working your way back up into divisional and playoff contention. Lay the foundation, improve each and every year. You have your first round pick, Bryce Young, try to build everything around him, get the line back, get some weapons at these skill positions. We do have a new head coach. We have Dave coming in. He's going to be the head coach. He was the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay last season. He ran a really good offense. He showed what he can do with Baker Mayfield. So the question is, will he be able to replicate that production that he had from Baker Mayfield with the Carolina Panthers? You have the new GM, Dan Morgan. The Panthers really needed a new direction in the front office when it came to their scouting and their drafting. So that's a good step. You have quarterback Bryce Young. He is back at the helm. He showed some flashes last season, but he also did show a lot of questions as well. He was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. I think he was sacked like 68 times. Sacked a whole lot. He was beat up the whole season. We need to see him improve. We need to see the offensive line improve drastically. You have to surround Young with more talent on the line and the skill positions if your goal is to try to help his performance. We're going to see what steps they take forward in those departments this year. The offense was bad, like god-awful bad last season, but they have made some moves. They brought in the wide receiver at Deontay Johnson. He's a pretty good possession wide receiver, going to get a lot of receptions. That's someone that a young quarterback needs, someone that they can dump the ball off to. You have Adam Thielen. He is back. He's a great veteran to have. He still has something in the tank. He showed that last season. This is Bryce Young's go-to guy. He needs a veteran that he knows that he can turn the ball to on third downs. You add in Mingo. You add in Leggett, along with the tight end Tremble. You have Sanders. You have the running back Chuba Hubbard. You have the second-round pick Jonathan Brooks out of Texas. So there's skill position guys there. Can we get them into the playbook? Can Bryce Young feed them the ball? On the offensive line, you added Robert Hunt for $100 million. The goal is to bulk up the line. You have Damian Lewis for $53 million. So hopefully the line should have a couple more anchors in it, something that should beef it up along the line. You have the defensive coordinator, Evrio. He is back. The defense did take some steps forward last season. They're going to be in the same scheme this year, so they should also be a lot better. Burns is gone. That is a massive loss. But in comes Clowney, Wanham, Derek Brown was re-signed. So that's assuring there that you have some big-name guys there, people that you can also anchor the defensive on. Jewell was also added to the squad along with the linebacker Shaq Thompson. Quarterback Horn is back. The big thing is with him is he just needs to stay healthy. So there's pieces there. There's pieces on the offense. There's pieces on the defense. Let's take a look at their schedule. Let's try to see if we can predict what their schedule is going to look like. They kick things off Sunday, September 8th at the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans was kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team last season. They played really well one week. They played really bad one week. They have really good players on the offensive roster. They have a solid defense. But whenever the offense played well, the defense stunk. Whenever the defense played well, the offense couldn't get first down. So you really never knew what you were going to get week in and week out. But this is a veteran team with a solid defense. The defense should be there at home to start the season. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers starting the year 0-1. Second game of the season, Sunday, September 15th versus the LA Chargers. Obviously, the LA Chargers have on paper one of the better rosters in the entire NFL, but the issue is coaching. They have a really solid defense, but they completely got train wrecked last season. But the coaching staff was completely failing this team. That has been righted in the offseason. You have Harbaugh coming in, revamping the coaching staff. You still have Justin Herbert there. He's going to sling the ball. He has weapons at tight end, running back, wide receiver. With the right coach, they're going to be hard to stop. I have the Chargers also winning this one, and the Panthers are now 0-2. Next game, Sunday, September 22nd at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders were a team with Pierce at the helm, had a strong second half last season. They have the weapons at running back. Quarterback is obviously still a massive question mark, but the defense was playing well. If you get that team you had second half of the 2023 season, they're going to have a strong 2024 year. Look for that to carry over for this game, for them to win this one, and the Panthers are 0-3. If you're a Panthers fan right now, don't panic. It's not a problem, but you're 0-3 as of right now. Next game, Sunday, September 29th versus Cincinnati. Obviously, the Bengals were a shell of themselves last season because Joe Burrow was hurt. Joe Burrow's not going to be hurt to start the year out. He's going to be slinging it. The offensive line should be better. The defense should be serviceable to average at best, but the offense is going to be able to score the ball on anyone. Look for Cincinnati to win this one big, and the Panthers are now 0-4. Like I said, don't panic. Next game, we have Sunday, October 6th at Chicago. So obviously you've had a lot of changes at quarterback. Caleb Williams coming out of USC, he's been lighting it up in the preseason so far. This is not a bad team. They have weapons at wide receiver, running back. Defense still has a lot that they need to do there. But this is a team that did not perform bad last season when Justin Fields was on the field healthy. But I had to pair it. I'm going to go with the Panthers getting things right. They're going to be the underdog this game, but I have them going to Chicago and surprising Chicago, beating them at home, and they're now 1-4. Next game, Sunday, October 13th at Atlanta. A lot of road games here. Going to the Falcons, one of the better rosters in football. You just wouldn't have known it last season because Ritter was such an awful quarterback. In comes Kirk Cousins. This team is loaded. Pitts, Landon, Algiers, Bijan Robinson, a average defense. They have so many weapons on offense, especially with the gunslinger Kirk Cousins. They're going to be able to score the ball with almost any team in the pros, and the Panthers just don't have the offensive firepower to be able to keep up with them. So I have the Falcons winning that one, and the Panthers are 1-5. Next game, Sunday, October 20th at Washington. Washington is a team that's almost completely transitioning from where they were last season. Solid team last season on offense, being able to get first downs. Their defense was Swiss cheese, but now they're making some quarterback changes. They have coaching changes, a whole new team, new scheme. I have them still being good enough to beat the Panthers, though, and the Panthers falling to 1-6. Why do I say that? Because the Commanders' team is actually not a bad team. There was weapons there for Hal last season. They were able to run the ball pretty well. The offensive line was almost as bad as the Panthers, but nonetheless, I think their offense is still a little more situated going into the 2024 season. So the Panthers are now 1-6. Next game we have Sunday, October 27th at Denver. When it comes to Denver and Sean Payton, you know, you are going to have Bo Nix there. He might be the starter, lighting things up. He's a very accurate quarterback, but they really don't have any weapons. This is a team that did not live up to expectations last season. If anyone's giving them expectations this year, I don't think they're going to live up to them. I think the Panthers are going to get another surprise win. They're going to win this one at Denver, and they're 2-6. Next game, Sunday, November 3rd versus New Orleans. Again, usually most teams split a series every year. They go 1-1, but I have New Orleans winning this one for all of the reasons that I gave in week 1, taking it 0-2 this season, and that's going to drop the Panthers to 2-7. Next game, Sunday, November 10th versus the New York Giants. This is a team that's more on the Panthers level right now at this point of where each of these teams find themselves. Giants had expectations last season, definitely did not live up to them. Daniel Jones was a complete disaster. Obviously, when they replaced him at quarterback, they got a little better going into the final 1 to 2 months of the regular season. I have the Panthers getting their third win here, being able to beat the Giants. They will be at home. That will help them. They're going to win it, and they're going to be 3-7. Next game is going to be Sunday, November 24th versus Kansas City. There's not much to say here. Kansas City has one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses in the country. Top 5 offense. They're going to have a top 3 defense. Obviously, this game's going to be a blowout. Panthers lose, and they're 3-8. The next game that you're going to be looking at is Sunday, December 1st versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, really strong season last year. The coach is obviously going to be very familiar with the Buccaneers. You have Baker Mayfield back. You have one of the better wide receiver cores in the NFL. They have a very solid defense, solid defensive line. They're going to shut down the run game and force Bryce Young to have to beat them through the air. I think he will be able to surprise this game. I have the Panthers winning it, and the Panthers are now 4-8. And then the next week, we have Sunday, December 8th at Philadelphia with the Eagles. So the Eagles obviously went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They were having a good season last year. And the last 1 to 2 months of the season, they completely fell apart. Could not stop anyone. Could not move the ball. Hurts was playing really sloppy. But this team's a lot better than the way they played. The roster should be back. They're probably going to be close to the way they played last season, but I think they'll be more spread out throughout the year. They're not going to have a god-awful final 1 to 2 months of the season, but they're going to be a 10 to 11 win team, but they're going to be consistent throughout the season. I have the Eagles winning this one and the Panthers dropping to 4-9. Next game, Sunday, December 15th versus the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, Dallas, you're going to have a top 5 defense, top 5 offense. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. This is a 12 or 13 win team. They're going to beat the Panthers. Panthers are going to drop to 4-10. Next game, Sunday, December 22nd versus Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray back to start the season, should be healthy. They're going to have a good offense. They have weapons there. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in. I have the Cardinals winning this one, and the Panthers drop to 4-11. Next game of the season, Sunday, December 29th at Tampa Bay. For the same reasons that I gave in the previous game, Baker Mayfield, solid wide receiver core, solid defense, good defensive line. I have the Buccaneers taking this win at home, and the Panthers drop to 4-12. Final game of the season, Sunday, January 5th at Atlanta. We already showed all the pros to the Atlanta Falcons, namely one of the best offenses in the entire country. They're going to light things up. They're going to be able to spread the ball out. The only thing here is they might be resting some of their starters because they may have clinched a playoff spot. I have Atlanta taking this one. I have the Carolina finishing the regular season 4-13. So just coming under that Vegas spread of 4.5 wins, but still doubling their win total from last season. That might not make Panthers fans happy, only having 4 wins, but you doubled your win total. Next season, if you double it again, that's 8 wins. They're taking steps forward. They are improving. That's our breakdown of the Carolina Panthers. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below and I will respond. Thank you.